Hello, and welcome to SWLG Talks with the Spirit. I'm your host, Loyalty G, and today's topic is breakups. Why are we so devastated when we break up with someone? I always start off with a scripture to help with my topics. So, today's scripture, it comes from Matthew. So, Matthew 22, verses 37 through 40. And he said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and the first commandment." So when we talk about breakups in relationship, either the other person needs some type of space. So I use the acronym for space: separation, panic, anxiety, careless, or you either exhausted. That's the reason why the person needs space. Now, as if the scripture tells you, of course, you've got to love God first. That's the first commandment. And when you start putting people in boxes and putting them on pedestals, or you're expecting so much of that person, and when they let you down, you become devastated. Whether they cheat on you, whether they are not up to par with what you want in a relationship, what you expected of them. Either way, which causes some type of anxiety or something where you just have to get out of that relationship. And that's whether this is your spouse, if it's your girlfriend, your boyfriend, domestic partner, or significant other, whatever the case may be. If you always put that person before God, it's not going to work anyway. So let's also talk about the hurt and the pain that comes along with that. Why are you so devastated when this occurs, when the person breaks up with you? You're two individuals that care for one another. In life, there are times where you're going to, meet somebody, you're going to fall in love with them, you're going to be loving on them, caring for them, nurturing them. But there is a season for everything. Like in Ecclesiastes talks about how there's a time to plant, there's a time to harvest, a time to be born, a time to die. It's the same thing with your relationships. So what you need to understand is sometimes God allows you to get hurt because you're not giving him first priority. You're giving that other person all of the intimate love, and you leave God on the side. So when you leave God on the side, then he takes his eyes off of you and allows that person to do things that upsets you and breaks up your union. It can be other people that cause it, the person to commit adultery or, to cheat on you, whatever your relationship is. When you don't give God that quality time that you're giving to that person, just remember, God created both of you. So if somebody created both of you, don't you think you should be giving them more love than to the person that you're with? Because they're allowing you the time to actually spend with that person. So why do people commit suicide? Why do people, they become homicidal and kill their spouses or loved one? You see this on the news. And some of them, they are self-injurious, meaning they're cutting on themselves, and just harming themselves. They don't understand, if they have children, how it affects the children when there's a separation, whether you're married or you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and you have children in that type of relationship, family dynamics. So the good news is that while you're frustrated with that person who has actually left you hanging to the side, because you didn't put God first and you're so devastated. The good news is that God allows this so that you can come back and have an intimate relationship with Him before you can go out and get with another person. And there's a learned lesson in that you will always put God first before that other person. So let's go to another scripture as it relates to how God allows you to be hurt, but He's there for you in the end. When we talk about Hosea chapter 6 and 1, the scripture says, "Come, let us return to the Lord, for He has torn us to pieces, but He will heal us. He has wounded us, but He will bind up our wounds." So before you start going out here and cutting up the man's tires, or him cutting your tires up, or harming you in any type of form or fashion, just know that God has torn you apart, but He's going to put you back together. It's not about that person. Let them go on and live their life. And He's got something better for you. You may not understand it at the time because you're in pain and you're hurt and you're thinking about, oh, this person did this to me. This is just, I put so much into him, or he says, I put so much into her. I took care of her kids and they weren't even none of my kids, or vice versa. So the thing is, when you put that person and you put so much energy in that person, you don't give God that same attention. So He allows that person to either step out on you in order to get the space. And it causes you, as I said, with the space, the separation, you panic, you got anxiety, and you become careless. And then you just become exhausted and you got to get away from this person. So He allows the pain and hurt to build the relationship back with Him. So do not go out here blowing your head off because of a female or a male. Do not go cutting on your skin because you got to meet somebody else down the road, and they don't want to see that you've been cutting on yourself, because then they're going to say you've got some mental health issues, and they may not want to spend quality time with you. So what you want to do is take the space, pray to God, get around other people, go out with other people, get busy doing some things. Think about what you did before you were with that person. Get involved in some type of activity. It keeps your mind afloat, and you're not thinking those negative thoughts. You may have to get rid of some pictures if you got those pictures around or whatever, so you won't be thinking about that person. Don't go and harm that person. We want to make sure that everybody is safe, but we want to make sure that everybody comes back to the one that created them. So there is also the last scripture that I want to say to you. Of course, Exodus 25, because we know that God is a jealous God. You don't put anybody before Him. So Exodus 20, verse 5, "Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, the God, I am a jealous God." Of course, when he also talks about visiting those persons with the iniquity in the first and the second generations, going back to that. But if you read Exodus chapter 20, verse 5, you'll get the gist of it. And of course, Matthew 22, 37 through 40, and the Hosea 6 and 1. So when you get frustrated, just know that God is there for you. He's allowed the hurt. He's hidden His face from you. He wants you to get back in a relationship with Him, and then He can allow the pain to go away and allow you to have a new person in your life because sometimes you got to move things out of the way in order to receive good things into your life. So we've talked about, staying on the right track, not becoming suicidal, not becoming homicidal, not damaging anybody's property, and not harming yourself. So until next time, I'm Loyalty G, SWLG Talks with the Spirit. And I hope that this enlightens you in some form or fashion to move on. You've got the space for a reason. And I want to encourage you also to get my book, God's Gifts Are Not for Free. You have to work them. That's right. God's gifts are not for free. You have to work them. You can get it on Amazon. Just type in GJ Warren and it'll pull up, and you can go online and purchase it. You can also go to the website, SWLG Talks with the Spirit, and you can purchase items online as well. You can also, if you have children, you can get the children's book, Babe Now Kids, The Red Duck Family A New Life, which pretty much is teaching children how to adapt when a new child is brought into the family. So that's the Red Duck Family. I'm actually right now working on a talking toy doll for this book. So hopefully we can get it out before this Christmas, or if not this Christmas, it'll be next Christmas. So some of you asked me why I hadn't been on for a few weeks. So of course I've been working on another book, which should be out in September. And it is called Changing Love Lanes. So that will be out in September. So I've been kind of busy and working with that. So make sure that you go online, purchase God's Gifts Are Not for Free. You have to work them. You can go on Amazon and purchase it. And also, if you have any questions or concerns, any question you need to ask me, you can email me at swlgtalks@gmail.com. If it's something related to from law, from mental health, business aspect, or personal or anything like that, that I can help you out with. I'm glad to help you out with that. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. It's for free. Make sure you turn on your notifications and comment on the topics. And I hope that this really did help out some people. I've talked to people who've had some problems with their relationships, and I want to enlighten them that it is going to get better, but you got to put God first before you put somebody else first, the maker, the creator. So until next time, God bless you, love you, and I appreciate you. Thank you.